In the dark, I fed my dreams. Permaculture flows like sweet streams. I'm the daddy with the know-how seed. Reading the world like it's meant to be. Permaculture, P-I-M-P, I'm the king. Wrapping up in everything. Bring a change, making it last. Join the permaculture.
Welcome to episode 302 of the Permaculture Pimpcast, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. The only Pimpcast on planet Earth where we discuss permaculture, preparedness, and practical living. How you doing, son?
Pretty good, Dad. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just going at literally 100 miles an hour. Well, this episode, as always, y'all, brought to you by Hickory Ridge Soap from twooldcrowshomestead.com.
Turn that simp into a pimp.
Bam! Living Soil Foundation. All right, y'all. We got a lot going on around here, and one of them is fixing up this toxic mess that's over here. Yeah, we'll come to some of that in here in a minute, but oh man,
I've had my own arguments with that guy.
Oh, okay. So this ought to be a good show today. Man, hey, I want to thank everybody for coming in the house right now. Yeah, Living Soil Foundation. Folks, if you want to donate, like I said, we're still working on that website, and I know it's been weeks out, but when I say we are literally juggling a lot of balls right now, we quite seriously, we are. So it is what it is, y'all. And good night, man. I don't know what to tell you except to apologize. And sorry, we couldn't be with you here on Monday because we had unexpected guests show up and, people we haven't seen in quite a while. And, time just got away from us. So I'm sorry about that, y'all. And I know some of you, wait to tune in. I know this is like the highlight of your week. So, sorry to disappoint you. But here we are today, and we'll bring it as always. Well, son, let's just jump right into the farm news. Apparently, you were under the weather yesterday. But, well, before you answer, son, hey, want to give a shout out to everybody out there in the chat right now. I mean, you people are the best permaculture pimp daddy crowd on the planet Earth. And we got Mountainside Homestead with Ken and Amy. I'll be interviewing them here before long. George Miller, Mountain Readiness. Yeah, Mountain. Put a sock in it. Don't worry. We're going to cover some more of that because I only gave you the highlights. Folks, when I recorded that video that came out earlier today, it was like I literally sat down and did it moments before I walked out of the door to go to Barbara O'Neill's event, the 5-day Immersion Shalom Temple event, which, by the way, is fantastic. I was literally there. I gave my speech and got on the first thing smoking coming back. And of course, son, why don't we let you kick it off as far as how you're doing?
Well, first of all, shout out Homestead Twins. They're in the chat too. They said, hey, pimps. But you mentioned I was under the weather yesterday. So, man, I don't know what was going on yesterday. I had a headache that started from when I woke up. And usually whenever I get headaches, it's later on in the day, like due to just losing electrolytes or dehydration or something like that. But that wasn't the case yesterday. I was chugging water throughout the day. I took everything we had in the counters, everything you guys had sent us, everything we already had. I've been taking electrolytes all through the day, and nothing was shaking this headache. And it was getting progressively worse throughout the day. And it really honestly didn't go away until Mom had sent me a text saying, hey, why don't you go try some grounding? And she was actually, I think she was suggesting I get naked and doing the grounding, but it was far too cold and far too windy yesterday to be getting naked and doing the grounding. But I went out to the demonstration site and I took off my shoes, took off my socks, did some grounding. And that was the only thing that took my headache away yesterday. And then you had sent me that Twitter post about the Next Red Towers going crazy in the Southeast. And that honestly could have been, I don't know what else could have been causing that headache. Because usually, like I said, whenever I get headaches, it's one of two things. I need electrolytes or I need to drink more water. And yeah, neither one of those were doing it for me until I did the grounding, and then I was good to go. And it was like I never even had a headache. I didn't have any fatigue, nothing like that. And it was, I was good to go. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was telling you, I didn't know your mom sent you the same text. I was telling what I was going to suggest is that there's a guy on YouTube. He's called Breathe with Sandy. It can be a little bit weird, so you got to be careful about which one you do. But honestly, he has breathing routines for all kinds of things, and I highly suggest it. It is, I mean, it's free. You can go on there and do it, and if you do it while grounding, that's usually the ticket for me in a lot of different ways. I mean, I got a PMF mat, a pulse electric magnetic field mat. I do it on there if I ever find myself with a headache. But typically just grounding is usually enough. But yeah, I mean, I kind of suspected that maybe I mentioned to your mom, that's why she beat me to the punch. But I was thinking, okay, if they're out here going full steam ahead on these next rad radar towers, and folks, let us know if you were some of the ones that were feeling the effects, because your mom was too. I was relatively unaffected, but your mom would get this crazy thing in her chest and then this cough that just would not go away. Well, down at Barbara O'Neill's event, had a couple of ladies from Fort Bragg reach out, and they told me that the very same thing was happening to them.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'd also had that sinus issue that morning too. No, there's the day before I had that sinus issue, but that air filter seemed to have squared that away. That triad air filter.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, Dad.
Yeah, we apparently a number of people. If you're feeling some of this stuff too, by all means, let me know in the chat, because if you don't know, there was a bunch of next rad radar towers going off for the last several days, and people have been, okay, I'm hearing yes. Yeah, a number of people are feeling all kinds of effects of fatigue, lightheadedness, you name it, and it's all happening at the same time. And of course, nobody in the government, in any government, is even addressing it. And if you want to find out, if you want to see it for, up close and personal, Into Thin Air, I believe, is the name of the channel on X. Yeah, feeling lots of joint pain. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on too. By the way, folks, if you would hit that thumbs up on the way in, tell them to go ahead and start suppressing us. But yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on. And then typically, whenever they do a bunch of chemtrailing, we had one day in Trump's 59 days of being in office, one day, and that was on Tuesday, this last Tuesday, where we didn't have chemtrails around here. Then on Wednesday, they went crazy. And I usually put up the fire risk danger around here whenever they do that sort of thing, because here we are in a temperate rainforest, and we're at extreme fire danger right now. And lo and behold, as we're coming back from Barbara O'Neill's event, which is about an hour and a half away, fires everywhere. Winds blowing up. I mean, winds will practically knock you right off the road. And of course, you see smoke, fire every single place you turn around. And then, of course, I got a call from Dane Wigington from Geoengineering Watch. He called me back on the way home, and man, he's giving me the download of what he has. And folks, it ain't good. I mean, I don't want to misrepresent and get it wrong, but I'll just put it this way. What Dane reported to me is, in a nutshell, hold on to your hat. It's about to get crazier. I'm apolitical, y'all. I'm a political atheist. And I've seen this under many administrations. And now this is about the worst I've ever seen it, ever. In my 54, almost 55 years on this planet, I have never seen it worse than it is right now under this administration. Now, who to blame? I'm sure there's a lot to go around, but you're not going to tell me that every politician I've written to either wrote back writing me, telling me that it's a conspiracy theory, or you know, it's nothing to see here. It's just jet exhaust or whatever. Come on, man. I didn't just step out of the cotton fields. These people are telling me some obvious nonsense. And sadly, most of their constituents would almost certainly believe it. But yeah, it's worse than it's ever been. What's it like out there in Texas?
Today it's clear skies, like shockingly clear skies. But yesterday, it had that weird haze everywhere. And then Mom sent me a text saying that they tried to say there was some dust storm coming in through Dallas and stuff. I guess that's possible, but like that would have to also explain the haze before and after the dust storm. Like yesterday, it's completely different than it was today. Yesterday morning, in fact, it looked like it was going to be a completely cloudy day until later on in the day. It was that hazy outside. It was like almost 8 o'clock and you could barely see the sun, but the forecast was saying clear skies. So it's super odd. And then today, completely clear skies. It's like they're going constantly back and forth with what they got going on.
Yeah, we're hearing a number of people in here as a massage therapist. This is from Suzanne Sullivan. As a massage therapist, I see patterns of pain. I definitely see an increase in this week in headache and joint pain. Yeah, if anybody would know, it'd be a massage therapist. Hey, Alabama saying we started getting more spray here. Not as bad as it was, but probably back to where it was before this election before long. Dave says yesterday and before, yep, pain, headaches, sinus, the whole 9 yards. And then, Mountainside with Ken and Amy, this is a real good point that I didn't even consider. Only 7 inches of rain this year. We had double this amount this time last year. And I
was telling Emily that yesterday.
Well, and Ken and Amy just live down the road from us. So, And I'm glad you pointed that out because, wow. And we are a temperate rainforest. How about that, folks? So, look, I'm going to get in. We're going to talk about what happened here before too long. But I mean, folks, the reason I'm going on about this, the reason why Dane Wigington is blowing up my phone right now is this is on another level. Even Alex Jones, as sold out as he's become, even he started mentioning something about it, saying, yeah, we got to get Trump to start looking into these chemtrails. So I mean, even he's starting to get on board and say, hey, what, like Marvin Gaye said, what's going on?
So you mentioned that you live in a temperate rainforest, right? You only receive like 4 to 6 inches more rain than where I live in Texas here. We get all of our rain in the spring and then like at the end of fall and into winter. We haven't had rain here in over a week and a half or so. Like every time they've been forecasting rain, we don't really get much of it. And we're super dry this spring. So, but like where you are, a temperate rainforest, you get consistent rain throughout the year with a small drought period at the end of summer. We get all of our rain for the majority during the spring, and it's been completely dry here the past couple of weeks. Now, Brenda Bodwin said, like, you left-wing states are guinea pigs for everything they want to dump on people. I live in Texas. This is a right-wing state. This is about as right-wing as it gets here. And, you kind of have to explain that part. Like, I understand you live in North Dakota. It's not right-wing or left-wing or anything like that. It's a United States thing.
Yeah, they're definitely spraying everybody up in the northern hemisphere, and I don't know that I've talked about this on the podcast yet, but son, I was kind of overlaying when Darren and we had a couple of friends come through, and they brought up some things that I didn't yet consider. Like, I better not repeat it right here because this is the kind of thing that would almost certainly get you bumped off the internet. So I'm gonna have to think of a clever way and bring it back, but the craziness of what's going on with this weather and everything else, and with these next rad radar towers, folks, like I said, into thin air, you got to check them out. I even captured some of it and I posted it on my Twitter account. I don't know, it's been maybe several weeks, maybe a month. There's some folks down the road that sent me a text saying, look at this weather pattern. And of course, I see the very same pattern. It is not natural. These cloud, you can look at it and tell that this is not natural. They're running these next rad radar towers, and no matter what you do, it's like folks will not wake up. And this is what Dane is. It's not just Dane. I mean, even Dr. Jane Ruby she's got a show too, and she's like, what does it take to get the American people to wake up? I mean, what does it take? If you walk out here and you see what I'm seeing, we see unusual, and no, it's not this. Yeah, climate changes because they're changing it. Okay. But yeah, that's exactly how it's going down. So folks, just hold on to your hat right now. There's so many people. I've talked to a number of other YouTubers and, just kind of bounce back and forth, hey, how are things with you? Folks, all the people that are in the homestead space, for the most part, the ones I know anyway, all their numbers have basically went into the toilet. Now, there's two reasons for that. What did I predict would happen, son, when Trump? What did we predict on this show would happen when Trump got into office?
The homesteading movement would basically, most of them, the majority of them would just quit and go back into the matrix.
Yep. It would collapse. And it's happened much faster than I even thought possible. Even your mom said as much. I mean, I knew it was going to collapse because it does, but I can't believe how quickly it's happening. People that would ordinarily pay attention all of a sudden aren't because they think Trump is in there. And folks, if you're looking at this guy as your savior, man, you are seriously screwed up. You have got to unscrew your head, put it back on right, and start asking, because honestly, if your grocery bill is going down, okay, gas is going down a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're still dropping bombs. Yes, we are doing it because we're supplying them. We're dropping bombs everywhere on this planet. We got wars and rumors of wars everywhere, earthquakes in diverse places. I think you know where I'm going with this, Matthew 24. Folks, we got a lot of different things going on right now, and none of them are good. And everybody, Darren came through, Darren from Hacks for the Homesteader. He was telling me, I asked him the same thing. I said, hey, if you notice people going, and before I even got the question out of my mouth, he's like, dude, as soon as Trump got in there, man, he says, I knew people that were like gung-ho, all fired up, ready to do this. Literally stopped showing up to the meetings, went out and bought a boat. Took all the money that they had for preparedness, son, and put it into a boat. And I'm like, and then you ask these people, well, why did you buy a boat? Everything's okay now. Oh, okay. You just go ahead and believe that.
They're
ahead.
Part of the problem. Those people are a part of the problem.
Yeah, it's all of us. I mean, we're victims of comfort. That's exactly what we are. Folks, that's the part that's really, I know that for America to advance, and I hate even saying this, when you become a society that's this decadent, sloven, and willfully stupid, the only cure, the only known antidote is starvation. And if you think we've crossed the finish line because Trump's in office, folks, I implore you to rethink. I can give you all the historical reasons. If you'd like to hear them, I can give you all the historical reasons why this thing is on shakier ground than it's ever been. Our financial system is on shakier ground than it's ever been. And when I don't know what the dollar is going to do. Who even knows? At the end of the day, it ain't going up. It may compared to other currencies, but is it going up compared to gold and silver? I mean, look at the price of gold as of late. Folks, all I'm going to tell you is, look, remember the motto of this show, stay alert, stay alive. So let me go on to some happy news that's going on around here. Happier anyway. When that storm came through, we had some weird, I mentioned on this show Sunday, we had some weird phenomena unfold. The garden boxes that were made out of wood in the front, it was like somebody picked them up like pickup sticks and just kind of laid them sideways. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. And so I've been replacing them with metal boxes. Hopefully that doesn't attract tornadoes like a, trailer park or something like that. So I got these metal 2-foot tall garden boxes, 4x8. They're not the Vigo type. I mean, they're the cheaper version of them, but I had to shore them up on the sides, and I'll hopefully at some point do a video on that. So I've been basically trying to fill these guys up with some compost and get things off and running. Because, folks, we're putting our food production in the higher gear than it ever has been before. And if you look around you, remember that video remember the show we just did a little while ago on 2025. I didn't know. Now, son, we got to be careful about how we say this. In addition to the other things that I gave out there, and also the presidential pattern, folks, I can't go into a whole lot of detail right now. I got to speak a little bit cryptically, so you'll have to go back to that episode if you don't know what I'm talking about. But add to that also, so this is something I did not know. Daniel told me about it, that The Simpsons did an episode on Trump concerning the very thing we were talking about on that program. Did you know that?
I didn't know that until you told me. I don't think I've ever watched a single episode of The Simpsons.
Your mom calls them the symptoms. But anyway, that, folks, is a little more esoteric. If people don't know about it, if you look at the Simpsons cartoon and all these things, you can find it on the internet. I don't have a place for you to go exactly, but if you look about all these things that they've predicted, let's say, either they're the luckiest screenwriters in the world or they've been given information. All these things with the Simpsons that have come true. Well, one of them includes Trump that I did not know about until Monday. So you'll have to go look it up and find out what that was, and add that as another little caveat to the 2025 unfolding that I told you is likely to happen. So yeah, hold on to your hat, folks. And I hope and pray these things don't happen. So what about them JFK documents, son? Did you get a chance to check out any of that?
All 80,000 pages of them. I've heard some clip notes so far, but it seems to be like, oh, what did I do? I heard some clip notes. A couple of different podcasts were talking about them. Nothing new. And then also I did do an experiment with ChatGPT. I said, hey, analyze the new documents concerning JFK and tell me what's new. Didn't tell me a single thing like new. It said like, oh, maybe the CIA had some monitoring of Lee Harvey Oswald before he actually did the assassination and stuff like that. But that was it. 80,000 pages. What does that even look like?
Apparently, they didn't have 80,000 pages. Apparently, there were 60,000. And according to people like Alex Jones, that once again, the government left out a fair piece of them. So just like the Epstein files, folks, you were promised. I mean, we were told a couple of things. Basically, our greatest ally was in on it. And there have been a number of people out there who, our greatest ally in the Middle East, the ones that everybody worships, it looks like they were in on it, which a number of researchers have said that for years. But once again, my point being, here's yet another, oh, he came through. No, he didn't. There's a whole lot of documents out there. There's certain things I know about and a number of others know about that never saw the light of day. How about Lee Harvey Oswald's tax documents? Okay, that's a very basic one right there. Why still are Lee Harvey Oswald's tax statements still classified? Where are those documents? Because if they weren't, you'd find out, folks, that he was actually working for the CIA and probably the FBI as well, but definitely the CIA. Folks, here it is, just another little. I'm not looking to disappoint anybody, but I'm trying to tell you that this is one giant smokescreen. Where are those Epstein documents? Pam Bondi said they were on her desk. Still ain't seen those. How about, let's see what really happened on 9/11. Because if you're believing the official story, folks, I got, if you're still believing that, I really don't know what to tell you at this point. How about Oklahoma City? A lot of people don't know this, but the official report that happened by some real intrepid researchers came out on the very day of 9/11 in 2001 of what really happened in Oklahoma City. And yep, that was another manufactured lie. How about the Gulf of Tonkin incident? Give us all those documents. How about the USS Liberty? Just mentioning that, folks, if you don't know about the USS Liberty, go look it up on your own and find out who did that. Find out how it's the most decorated vessel in the history of the United States. The most decorated vessel, and you've never heard of it. Go look and find out who attacked them, and you're going to find out why you never heard of it. So, yeah. You're going to find out a whole lot of things, and that's just from the top of my head, a number of things that haven't come out. So, yeah, that's not exactly farm news, but we cover pretty much everything here, so you're going to get a potpourri of all of it. Well, before we go into the next one, folks, we're not going to do the good news or any of that stuff today. We're going to drive on to the main topic, and because I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to it. But before we do, if you want one of these on my wrist right now, especially when I go to events, I'm always wearing this wave watch, and I kid you not, I am always wearing this thing because it has a number of settings on there that help to counteract all these witches they bring. And I'm not joking when I tell you, it seems like every public speaking engagement I've done as of late, in fact, over the last several years, these witches come out of nowhere and they're doing hexes in the back. I mean, right there in front of everybody. And so we were prayed up on this one on Sunday. And there was a couple of people that had very strange reactions. Maybe I'll come to that in a minute. So anyway, Wave Watch, Billy 100 get you $100 off of that. Okay, Shalom Temple is going on right now, folks. And if you're not there or you're thinking about going, I know they have day passes and stuff like that. It's at the Tryon Equestrian Center in Tryon, North Carolina. I got to be honest with you, folks. I'm very, very. I speak at a lot of these events, and I spoke today and I spoke on Tuesday. I got to be honest with you, man. It is such a joy And some of you right here in this chat that I've had the pleasure of meeting before, it's such a joy to go to things like this when I can meet people that actually have sense. And a lot of you folks are, and I've met a number of you, Homestead Twins. I mean, obviously a number of you out there that I've had the pleasure of meeting. And it's like the sad part is I know it sooner or later, this event's got to end, but it's just such a joy to be in a room with so many people that get it, that I don't have to explain myself to, that absolutely get it. When I do a presentation on chemtrails, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know all about it. So anyway, that's going on right now. And if you want to swing by, I'll be by tomorrow and Saturday, I believe. So March 29th, got that. Well, that's sold out. That's what that Homestead Butchery event. But look, the next one coming up right now for me is going to be May 2nd through the 4th, Mountain Readiness. And folks, that is an event. I can't think of an event that's more important in the times we live in right now. I mean that. That's going to be May 2nd through the 4th, so go to mountainreadiness.com. They're also doing a fundraiser for Living Soil Foundation. Can't thank them enough for that. They're going to be breaking bread. You know, Chef Shane's going to be doing all the cooking on that, and he's going to be doing like a Moroccan thing. Look, I don't even care. If Shane cooked it, I know it's going to be fantastic. That's all I need to know. Shane's cooking, enough said. What's he cooking? Yep. Don't care. Don't even care. I know it's going to be off the hook. So, yeah, that's going to be May 2nd through the 4th. And go to mountainreadiness.com, folks. It's the best festival concerning homesteading, preparedness, practical living. That show really is the embodiment of this podcast. I mean that. And it's the best show you don't know about. It is, you just have the highest quality instructors, high quality food, obviously, and you have classes that you will not get in any other festival, not even close. And that's why really, for the most part, if it's just your same tired homestead festival, folks, I'm just not that interested. So yeah, they'll be coming up before too long.
Hey, Dad. Yeah, you might want to have Mom fix the Wi-Fi, take that blocker off because you keep freezing.
Oh,
not long, it's just glitchy.
Well, Michelle, if you heard that, please do so. All right, so that's all the announcements right there. And I know I got a download from Merrick, but I don't think it's ready because, frankly, I don't think it's in the machine. But anyway, EMP Shield $50 off with promo code PERMA. So let's get into this. All right, so in Harry Potter, they had the defense against the dark arts. Well, we're going to talk about defense against the Hoople-Heads. Son, you're laughing about something. What's going on?
I'm just reliving the conversations with this dude. Yeah, logic is the best defense against the Hoople-Heads, the purple breathing Marchies.
Boy, I could not have said it better, folks. I'm going to give you a fuller understanding of what just happened this weekend. Now, I just spoke on Tuesday regarding all the things that happened in Western North Carolina and how we're fixing it. But in order to talk about how we're fixing it, I got to demonstrate what the problem is. So the problem being, and I'm going to talk about it again for all the people that don't know about it, but I'll be very brief about it. Here's what happened in a nutshell. Before that, Hurricane Helene ever made it to Western North Carolina. And by the way, how many hurricanes have you ever seen in your life that increase in intensity as they go across land? Anyway,
300 miles inland.
Yeah. How about that? I think it was more than that, but yeah, 300 miles in here, and it's increasing in intensity. When in history have you ever seen that? You haven't. Okay. So anyway, they came through and they dropped a bunch of particles out of these planes. You might call them chemtrails. They got different mixes they can put in there. They can do certain things. These mixes entwine with whatever weather system is there, and they use NEXRAD radar towers to steer this storm anywhere they want. I mean, we've seen it done in Hurricane. What was it? Hurricane Harvey that hit Houston. We saw it happen there. We saw it happen in so many different hurricanes over and over and over again. And if you're thinking this is hogwash or, this is unproven, look, folks, we've been doing it since Operation Cirrus. We did it all over Vietnam, Operation Popeye. They've gotten so good at they even have off the coast ships that can steer these things. Okay. We got this technology. It's well known. It's not that difficult. Like T from Mountain Readiness said, how is it we can believe all this crazy stuff about putting a man on the moon? Nobody questions that. Test tube babies, the whole 9 yards. but people think it's a bridge too far to think that we can actually control the weather. Lyndon Johnson talked about it at a university. I can't remember what it was, but you can find that. You can find it right now. That he who controls the weather controls the world. And they were talking about it back in, I think that was 64 or 65 that Johnson was talking about it. Anyway, he was definitely in on the Kennedy assassination, by the way. Anyway, I'm explaining this at the organic grower school. Now, I wasn't initially going to talk about, I wasn't going to say a word about the thing. I really wasn't, until all of a sudden they pull out this letter. Son, do you want to read that thing? You have
let me get this letter. I'll get it ready.
So while you're getting it ready, I'll go ahead and explain what happened. So prior to this event, we had an online meeting between me and the other speakers that were involved, and they were finding out what we were going to talk about. It was going to be like, and so one guy, George, basket case. I mean, this guy really ought to be in a padded room, complete freaking basket case. I was warned about this guy before the event and how many other people he had come down on. He's one of those guys that'll sell wolf tickets online. And then all of a sudden I'm at this event. Now, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up. So online, I meet with the other speakers that are going to be doing this panel. And well, thank you very much, Brenda, for the $2. That's what I'm talking about.
This is live, by the way. She's asking if it's live or live video. This is live right now.
Yep, you're seeing it up close and personal. Anyway, as we're doing this Zoom call, this guy starts telling me you're bat blank crazy, blah, blah, blah. And all I said, well, dude, you're clearly crazy as a 3-headed cat. But let's see how you do when we stand face to face, because he's selling all these wolf tickets online. So I get into the event. I'm the first one to show up. And before then, I made sure, because every time I go to this event, this is one of those events, folks, I kid you not. They literally have a library at this event, and it's at a Baptist university. So if anybody wants to call Mars Hill University and ask them why on earth they're letting organic grower schools show up there, and I kid you not, there are as many Wiccan and witchcraft books as there are farming books. Why you're doing this why you're okay with them doing this at a Baptist university?
It's no longer Baptist. It's no longer Baptist. They shut that down, I want to say, in like the 80s or something like that. It used to be a Baptist school, but no longer.
Okay. Well, whatever the case may be, I said, okay, once I saw this, I'm like, I don't think I'm going back here. And at the chapel is where this little conversation was going to go down. Well, thanks again, Brenda. Thank you for the money. If you break bread, we won't fake dead. We get over there to the chapel. I'm the first one to arrive, and then the moderator goes out of his way to come up to me. Now, we were asked to give whatever video slides or presentations we were going to give. Thanks to you, George, for the $4.99.
He also wants to make it clear that we're not talking about him.
No, not you, George. Yeah. So there's another George out there, and this guy is a fruitcake. Well, I sent my video presentation, and what it was all I had was one slide, and it was a 90-second video from Dane Wigington at Geoengineering Watch, where he shows the next rad towers steering this storm. Folks, when you see it, you can't unsee it. It's that devastating, okay? So I sent that to him. So I show up on the spot, and the moderator goes out of his way, comes up, and I swear he looks like an exact replica of the guy in the Hunger Games that was like the host of the show. Same hairdo, same everything. I thought I was in the middle of the Hunger Games. And here he is, a moderator for this thing, comes up, says, hey, we decided we're just going to go ahead and ditch the video part of it. And I said, did you watch it? And he said, oh, yeah, we watched it. So right then and there, I just smiled and said, okay. I'm like, well, okay, dude, you think you're going to shut me down? Okay, I'm about to break out both barrels now. So that wacko George shows up. He gets in there. He's sitting on one side, and this is before the event even starts. And then I'm just sitting over here minding my own business, sitting next to your mom up front. And as I'm getting ready to go up, he comes up to me, puts his hand out. Hi, I'm George. I let him hold his hand there for about 2 seconds before I decided to shake it. I'm just looking him dead in his eyes like I was about to carve his liver. I just look at him for a second, and I realized right then and there I broke him. And I said, yeah, George. I said, are you going to behave yourself today? Are you going to be civil? And then he just kind of shakes his head. Okay. So we sit down, and I told the moderator, I said, I only have one request. Put me on the opposite stage of this George. Because if this dude loses his mind, I'm going to drop kick his monkey ass right off this stage. And that's what I told him. I mean, because at that point I was pissed. I'm telling him, I'm going to go straight up monkey kung fu. And I said, you get him off this stage. I'm telling you, put him on the other side, because if he acts stupid, and there ain't no telling what may come out of me. So let's just avoid all this stuff. And so he puts him, he says, well, he's trying to hem-haw. I said, look, I'll just make it easy for you. I'm sitting right here, okay? So he put him over there. So anyway, they had this girl in there with some fake last name. Everybody's doing their thing. They're talking around. And then finally, I'm the last one to talk. And then so I'm already knowing the fix is in, that they don't want me to talk about what I'm going to talk about. So I basically said who I was, and then I just jumped right into it, full steam ahead. This dude starts yelling and carrying on. We got it on film, but for some reason, we're having a hard time downloading it. I would have put that in the video that I put out earlier today. Anyway, this fool decides he's going to get up here, and I said, look, man, you better put a sock in it. And so he shut up for a minute. And then I finished what I'm saying. And basically what I tell those folks is exactly what I'm telling you right now. Son, here's the thing that blew my mind. Now, there were a few people in the audience that were already awake. There were quite a few that I didn't realize that I actually red pilled. And I brought the training aids from Dane Wigington to be able to kind of, let everybody, if they wanted some additional information, here it is. And so I go through this event, and then everybody in there is uncomfortable. Frankly, at this point, I ain't caring, because I got no intention of coming back anyway. I'm burning Rome behind me, because I knew at this point that all the Marchies that walked out of there when I started talking, they didn't even let me as soon as I brought up geoengineering, bro, they were on the first thing smoking out of their seats and getting out of there. So stupid that they can't even hear the matter before they decide and make an opinion on it. One disappointing thing is that there was one woman who I'd met before. I'd trained her husband. I went up to her after it was all said and done. She comes up to the front. I thought she was coming up to say hi. I stick my hand out to shake it. She literally recoils from me and then keeps on walking. I was like, whoa, Kevin, you shouldn't have, bro.
Yeah, Kevin, you got to stop dropping money in this thing. You got to stop this.
Yeah, bro, I do appreciate it. Yeah, but this lady goes by. I put my hand out, and I don't know about anybody else, but where I come from, if somebody says hi to you or sticks their hand out to shake your hand, and then they walk past you, you might as well just kick me in the jimmy. There is no bigger offense. I don't know if that's, I don't know. Y'all have to tell me in the chat. But where I come from, if you greet someone and you know they heard you, you know they looked you in the eye, or you put out your hand and they keep walking, that is an open slap in the face. So that infuriated me, but I held my peace. I'm like, okay, so that's how it's going to be, huh? But then what I didn't realize is that a number of people, I had to run to the bathroom. I had to pee like nobody's business. I come back, and then there's a number of, strangely, it was one guy and all women that were woke up, son. That woke up. There were, some of them were already awake, and some were woken up. And it was all women. All these Hoople-Headed Marchies that were sitting in the audience. There was a couple of them I spoke to, and I asked them, well, what are your thoughts on this? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Go on, Jack. So I'm like, okay, man, whatever. Well, here's another little strange thing that happened. There's one self-avowed witch that told your mom she was, apparently. She was up front. And look, folks, I'm saying prayers work, and all your prayers out there, y'all, are definitely working in the most massive way. Because we had one witch that had the Diddy Mao up out of there when I'm telling you. In fact, I'm almost wondering, as I had the benefit of hindsight to look back at it, when I went to shake that woman's hand, her recoil was so visceral that I wondered if she wasn't a closet witch as well. Because, folks, there's more witches running around that festival, I would say by many magnitudes, than anybody who's a follower of Christ.
That's a fact.
Son, am I lying?
No, that's a fact.
They got no problem. They got no problem promoting witchcraft in this place openly. But the second I bring up something, and then every time I introduce myself, I say I'm a Christian American, heterosexual, pro-gun, liberty-minded permaculture designer. I'm surprised they ever even had me back, because that's what I would say every time I'd teach a class. And of course, you'd see people recoil. But if I said, hey, Gandhi the man, or not Gandhi, but Buddha the man, if I'd have said something like that, they'd have been, oh, yeah, we love you, brother. We love you. But, the second you and look, hey, they're just going to have to deal with it. So anyway, this event goes on and everything was cool. I was like, okay, this was flipping bizarre, but I'm not going to say a word about it. I'll tell the people the podcast, but I wasn't going to name the event. I wasn't going to dime them out like that until I get a message from someone night before. What was it? Yeah, it was last. I don't know when it was, man. Every day's Monday right now. And then all of a sudden they said, hey, so-and-so, they were very apologetic saying, hey, I can't believe they did this. When I spoke to the moderator and the other guy afterwards, they were apologizing to me for the behavior of this freakazoid named George that was on stage. Every time I get up there and have something to say, there he was. So then all of a sudden, I'm guessing all the Hoople-Headed Marchies wrote into these folks and said, I don't know what, but son, why don't you go ahead and read their response?
All right. So this was a post on Instagram that they released. In light of recent conversations, we want to reaffirm Organic Grower School's commitment to fact-based educational programming. We recognize the reality of climate change and its impact on our ecosystems, communities, and the future of sustainable agriculture. Our work is rooted in ecological principles, and we do not support or endorse climate change denial. Our mission is to provide education and resources that empower people to grow, farm, steward land, and live sustainably. We invite knowledgeable subject matter experts to share insights on topics relevant to organic farming, gardening, permaculture, natural wellness, ecological resilience, and more. While we value open discussion and diverse perspectives, our platform is intended for learning, not for the promotion of misinformation or viewpoints that contradict our mission. Well, okay, let me just finish. As conveyed in speaker and moderator training and conference guideposts, we expect presenters to stay on topic and aligned with the purpose of their session. However, as a small team managing a large dynamic event, we cannot be everywhere at once, and discussions occasionally take unexpected turns. The opinions expressed by individuals during sessions do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or mission of Organic Grower School. We remain committed to fostering thoughtful, science-driven discussions that support resilient, regenerative, and sustainable living. We appreciate the trust our community places in us and will continue refining our approach to ensure our events reflect our values. We welcome open conversation and would appreciate any direct feedback being sent to outreach. Oh, so here's an email. We can all email these people. outreach@organicgrowerschool.org. It's called outreach@organicgrowerschool.org, so that we can further dialogue with the appropriate team members. So I saw this on Instagram, and I commented down below. The ornery part of myself commented and said, don't be mad, Permapastures Farm, and I tagged y'all. Don't be mad, Permapastures Farm spanked Fat Ninja Food Forest during that discussion, which I tagged Fat Ninja Food Forest, which is that guy's name. His name is George Brabant. It's all, I'm not doxing anybody. It's all public information. Yeah, I tagged them both in it, and then this guy lost his mind in the comment section to the point where, and then he lost his mind. I responded once, and then he left like 7 comments, and then I respond again, and then he leaves like another 7 comments. And I challenged him to a debate because I'm going to be up in Asheville here before too long, and I challenged him to a debate that we could both record and we could both upload to our platforms. And he was down for it. And then I don't know what he said. I think I called him. I think I said something along the lines of like too dumb to argue with or something like that. And he must have lost his mind after that. I didn't even see the replies after that, because then Organic Grower School shut off their comments for that post. But they just said they're down for open dialogue. So that doesn't make any sense. So then I repost on my story on Instagram and I say, Organic Grower School removed the comments, even though they're up for like open dialogue and everything. And then Fat Ninja Food Forest responded back to me. And if you're trying to look up his page, it's PHAT Ninja Food Forest, and it should be FAT Ninja Food Forest. But anyway, he responds back to me in a direct message saying, in fact, let me just read it to y'all.
Well, so
he
while
responds
you're
back
that,
to me.
well, let me just comment before you do that. Let me just say this real quick in response to their to Organic Grower School. First of all, you people knew exactly what I was talking about. I told you what I was going to be talking about. And in fact, that George tried to cuss me out before online. So they knew exactly what was going on. So now they're playing Switzerland, and I'm going to tell everybody about you people. There's a reason why I don't promote you people anymore, is because you have a bunch of woke. The first time I went to this, folks, I kid you not. The first time they had this black woman named, what was her name? I can't think of it. She literally stood in front of a class full of white people telling them, now I had not long been in North Carolina when we went to this thing. It was the first one we had ever went to. And I'm watching her tell a room full of white people that they need to give up their land to black and indigenous people. Just give it to them. And they just need to give their land away. And I'm expecting this place to blow up. And all I see is head nods in there like, yeah, seriously thinking about it. They're treating me, at this point, I didn't realize how woke this place was. And these people are treating me like I'm Michael Jackson. And I'm like, oh, this happens until, and then I found out it didn't take me long to find out that the biggest bigots on this planet, and I'm on the record saying this right now, the biggest bigots on this planet are you idiots on the left. You are the idiots on the left. When you see a person of color, you think, oh, he's a retard. Let me just go ahead and kiss his butt because, he's having as soon as you don't see, if you're a person of color and you don't see yourself as a victim, they see you as their enemy. Okay. As soon as they see a person of color and you don't toe that liberal idiotic line, guess what? You're an enemy also. That's exactly how these people operate. So the second they realize, oh shoot, we got one that can see, as soon as they realize that, they hate you worse. They hate me worse than the worst bigot I've ever met in my life in the Deep South. And by the way, I haven't run into any big bigots in the Deep South. I met a lot more of them up north, believe it or not. But anyway, these people are the biggest racists out there. When you lower the standards, when you have this bigotry of low expectations out there, and then when I sit here and I mop the floor with you people, what do you do then? Because I'm beating you, not with conservative principles, but like I said, I'm neither left nor right. I'm all about the Constitution. And somebody said, and they hate women too. Dad,
look at the comments. You see Josh Sloan in there?
No, I haven't, son. I'm sitting here talking.
Sorry, guys, but Josh Sloan, I grew up with him since 3rd grade. I haven't talked to him in years, and he found this. That is awesome. What's up, Josh? He said William and Billy have always been true to themselves. A lot of the time that can touch a nerve of the glass overflowing. People keep it 100, man. That is awesome.
Oh,
I haven't spoken to Josh in years.
Great to hear from you, man. It's
that's cool.
Man. Yeah, what a joy, man. I love that kid. I've never seen a kid eat so much in my life, man.
But be like rail thin.
This kid could hang glide on a Dorito, man, and he could eat more than anybody I knew. I'd take him places just to see what this kid would put away. But he's full of energy, man. So I'm sure he's doing wonderful things with his life, him and his brother Garrett. So great to hear from you, Josh. But bottom line is, folks, I was never going to name these people until they came out with this. And I'm like, okay, they didn't technically name me, but there is no way I'm letting this go unchallenged. So that's why I put out the video I did earlier. But son, as you were talking about this moron.
So I posted on my Instagram story saying, hey, Organic Grower School, shut off the comments. And then he replied to that story saying, what kind of person tries to congratulate themselves? And then he did like golf clap. I don't understand what that means. Do you have any others that agree? Seems to me most were disappointed they did not get what they came for because some nut job tried to hijack the topic. And then I responded, I didn't congratulate myself. I congratulated my dad. The truth is the truth is the truth no matter who agrees or disagrees. My parents are the only ones actually cleaning up the soil contamination in NC, Western North Carolina. What are you doing to help? You seem to only be concerned with getting in the way and hiding the truth of what's actually happening. And then he responded, "You're Billy's son?" And then I responded, "Surprise, cuck." And then he said, "Your brainwashing is not your fault. It's your father's. And he means well and believes himself, I'm sure. You and I are done." And I said, I came to these conclusions independently. Let's have this debate. And then he just like blocked me and stopped responding and stuff like that. So, but in the comment section of that Instagram post is whenever I tried to have the debate. I'm still trying to have the debate with this dude. Like it will be, he wanted to, and he also responded like, only if it's live and no filming, which is ridiculous. I was like, that's retarded. We can get like a fraction of the views doing a live, or we could get way more views on this debate just filming it and then recording it and like putting it up. It's ridiculous.
Well, this guy, he clearly has got a few screws loose. He's just upset that he'll never be half the man his mama was. So at the end
or his wife was.
Yeah.
But this guy, I looked at his Instagram just briefly. He's been talking about you for a minute. You've been on his mind for a minute.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next time I come across him, it sure is funny that, when he came up, he had his hat in his hand, so to speak, when I first met him, and I'm looking him dead in his eyes and I'm thinking, okay, dude, are you going to behave yourself? And of course, I think he's so brainwashed. And folks, that's really the moral to this episode right here. Look, let me speak specifically to all of you people out there that may be conservatives. Okay, I'm going to talk to you. This is important. It really is. The problem we run into is that most people from the conservative side or even the libertarian side, we're like, okay, yeah, just whatever. And then you're just going about your life. Folks, we are well past the point that we got to start standing up, even if it means, and folks, if anybody can attest to this, believe me, I'm somebody that can. Doing the right thing doesn't mean you keep a job. Doing the right thing doesn't mean I'll keep this YouTube channel or any other platform that I'm on, because despite what everybody tells you, X is a worse platform since Musk bought it. I kid you not. There's more shadow banning going on now. If you are critical, if you ask any critical questions regarding Trump or Israel, trust me, you're getting shadow banned just by asking the question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. These lunatics get to run wild. You're telling me in your post that you open dialogue. Well, apparently that applies to anybody that agrees with you. But as soon as we put out an opposing point of view, you want to let it go. And folks, I knew that these people were going to lose their minds as soon as I knew the fix was in. I'm like, instead of just coming to me like a man and saying, hey, man, we really appreciate it if you didn't talk about this. I would have respected that. I would have still talked about it, but I would have respected it. I wouldn't have honored it, because you didn't just waste my time, Jack. If I'm already at this event and then you tell me there that you want me, that you're not going to talk about the things you said you were going to talk about, you're going to tell me at the event, I got news for you, Jack. You ain't wasting my time. I came here to red people some people. Okay. I came to kick butt and chew bubble gum, and I'm fresh out of bubble gum. So if that was your motive, bro, why didn't you tell me before I got there? I would have just, if you waited till I got to the event, it's too late. At that point, the die is cast. So you could have called me up and been a man about it, or whatever you folks are, and I would have respected that. I would not have shown up. But after I'm at the event, then you're telling me you're going to change the script on me? Negative, nephew. That's why I came out both barrels, because I knew the fix was in the second. And then check this out, son. There was a black dude after me. People were talking to me for quite a while afterwards. So there's like maybe 30 minutes between segments, between classes. All of a sudden, the monitor's working. How about that? Mm-hmm. How about that? You're telling me, we're going to avoid this thing. Oh, well, why? Yeah, well, they mealy mouth around it. I knew right then and there, this guy was just blowing smoke. So at that point, folks, the moral I'm trying to make out there, folks, you're going to have to start standing up. I know a lot of us want to make our point and then walk on. No, you're going to have to debate these people. You're going to have to get into verbal fist fights, if you will. Okay. I don't advocate violence. I'm all about the non-aggression principle, which basically means don't start no SH and there won't be no IT. I'm not for initiating violence, but if that's what it has to come to, I'm not looking for it, and I'm not promoting it, and I don't advocate it. But when the chips are down, I mean, first of all, if it was even a chance of that sort of thing happening, you're better off not even going to an event like that. But I'm saying you're going to have to stand up and fight these people because you're winning. You're winning on the basis of logic. Remember, you're not debating. I'm not debating the people on that stage. Every last one of them were brainwashed morons. Okay.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. I'm not debating these people. It's the third party you're trying to influence. That's what I'm trying to get. I'm just hoping and praying that there's somebody out in that audience who can benefit from a different point of view. Maybe all they've ever heard are these lunatics that were on stage with me, okay? And now all of a sudden they hear a different point of view. Maybe I didn't plant the seed. Maybe I watered it. Or maybe I planted the seed. Or maybe I see the increase. I'm not sure where I am in this. But folks, you're going to have to start standing up for yourself because so many people in the conservative space, they are basically thinking, man, I'm not going to be able to do any good here. Well, like I said, you're not debating that person. You're debating the third party. Son, you were going to say something?
Yeah, not just defending yourself, but also defending the other person. Because sometimes, like, I know with me, I can do this all day. I don't need somebody to back me up. I don't need that or anything like. I don't need backup to debate these morons. I'm fine with it. But there are some other people that are like, man, I'm not getting anybody to agree with me, which doesn't mean that people aren't agreeing with them. It just nobody is speaking up agreeing with them. Yeah, don't be afraid to defend and come to the aid of other people too. Like if you see injustice going on, it's still injustice. You have and one of my issues with a lot of these mainstream Christian churches and stuff like that is that they've demasculinized every man out there and made it so where they're like, oh, just show grace, just show mercy, don't stand up for anything, let God take care of it and all that stuff. Like if you are a Christian man, it is your job to stand up to injustice. It is your job to do that. You don't have to sit there and tolerate it and just take it. And you don't have to sit there and watch somebody else just sit there and take it either. You can stand up for them. It doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to come to that. And if it does, then there are a bunch of fail points on the way there that you should have recognized. But yeah,
well said, son. No, well said. That's the problem, is the acquiescence. Remember, you're always in a debate. It's not that person you're debating. And honestly, folks, you'll never really truly lose a debate if you don't care about. If all you care about is getting to the truth, whatever that is, you'll never really lose a debate if you stop to think about it. You'll never really lose a debate. I mean, if somebody bested you in an area or have the humility to say, yeah, you know what? I didn't think that one through, or I got it wrong. People will respect you more if you just admit, hey, yeah, I got it wrong. I was incorrect on this. They will always, I mean, in every single case, I always respect a person that says, you know what? I didn't get this one right. So please forgive me. Oh, look who's in there right now. Yeah. He's in the chat right now. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed this. Anyone intended who saw the truth. Yeah. I'm glad I got it on video, George, because you are a freaking moron. And so you go ahead and run your mouth in here. I'm sure the people in the chat will let you have it. Dude, you are clearly unbalanced. And like I said, if you want my son to put you through a 5-minute flurry of verbal fists, he laid down the gauntlet. So here's your chance to go ahead and do a debate. You're going to have to, yeah, I'd love to share that video. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, you don't have to be a cuck your whole life. I can help you, dude. Like, you don't have to be a simp. You don't have to be a cuck. I'll help you. I'll give you the keys. We'll start with that Hickory Ridge soap. We'll wash you down. We'll have a talk with your wife. Tell her what's appropriate, what's not appropriate.
Dude, no woman could live with this dude. No woman.
I'm pretty sure he's married.
What?
Hey, that my response might get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah.
Right now, no, dude, let's sit down. I'm coming to Asheville next week. Let's sit down. let's record this. You can record your side. I'll record my side. We'll both have the recording, so that way we can keep each other honest, make sure nobody's doing the editing or anything like that. And we'll upload it to our platforms, and we'll let the people decide. Doing it live doesn't make any sense. Like live right now, we might have, I can't see the numbers, but we might have anywhere between 100 and 200 people watching. Or we could do an actual video, and then thousands can watch, and thousands can see you're crazy. And hopefully thousands will reach out and say, hey, you don't have to be a cuck and a simp your whole life.
Yeah, I could. Look, I'll be the ref. I'll be like, William, are you ready? Moron, are you ready? Let's get it on. Come on. I'll be Big John McCarthy in here. So anyway, this guy he's a real piece of work. And George, you really need to seek help. I mean this, dude. You are any person who was unable to even let the other party make the point. I didn't even get the point across half the time because this fool was in here every 2 seconds, muttering back in his seat. I mean, nobody could even understand what he even said. So I'm glad we got it all on film, because I figured people like that idiot probably went to the people at OGS, but that's okay. I'm going to let everybody know about Organic Grower School. And the next time you have another event, I might even be out there in a marquee holding up a sign telling people to boycott that event. You know what? I might get a whole gang of people out there to get them to boycott that event. Because if they want to pull some nonsense like this, when the people there, the moderator and everybody else said, yeah, sorry about that, man. This guy's clearly unbalanced. Shouldn't have had him here. Yeah, George, that's what they said about you. Shouldn't have had this clown here. And then all of a sudden they come out with some nonsense like this. You want to pull this? This is how you fight back, folks. You can sit here and take it. Like when Joel Salatin was being called a racist from that, what was it called, son? That
Silvanaqua Farm.
Silvanaqua Farms, which was the most absurd thing in the world. Joel sadly did the wrong thing. He apologized. And you know what? I know the playbook of all these lunatic lefties. Won't tell you how I know it, but I know it. And the second you apologize, especially during this whole Black Lives Matter and all this other garbage that was going on out there, their marching orders are to double down on you. So you sat there and apologized for something you didn't even do, and then they triple down on you in the worst way, and then you lose your job anyway. Folks, this is how you fight back. Okay, you want to go out there and put a gang of people together to protest me or whatever I'm doing? Guess what? It goes two ways. I can get a whole gang of people up there. We'll line that entire sidewalk, and I'll put I'll make it an event you won't forget. Okay. So if they want to pull this kind
Pat
of
Miletich.
yeah, but you know what? I mean, that's the thing that blows my mind, son, is that they want to pull, when it was all said and done, they're all friendly with me. And then all of a sudden I see this garbage because this idiot probably got his little, trans-testicle polar bears to align with him and write to these people. And then you want to put me on blast? I'm putting you on blast. And I'm going to keep
let me offer peace, Dad. Let me just offer peace real quick. Hey, when I'm in Asheville, I'll come fix your compost for you. I see that you're bringing it. Apparently, you're bringing it all the way to BioComplete. So you took Soil Food Web, Dr. Elaine Ingham's course. No. You ruin it, but
no, son. I'm not sure he did, because I'm looking at his microscope skills. I even tried to give this guy a couple of kind words on the stage. I'm looking at his microscope skills in the video, and I'm like, bro, I look at a lot of stuff under. You don't know what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah, no. And you're also making anaerobic teas afterwards. So just like hit me up. Hit me up. I'll come out there. I'll help you with it. We can film it, or we can keep it quiet. Either one, whatever you want to do. But let me offer a peace offering. Let me come help you fix your compost. You're like almost there.
Almost, bro. Almost. I mean, look, when you can snatch the compost from my hands, you may leave this monastery. Okay, Fat Ninja. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, and I love this, Linda. What the hell kind of name is Fat Ninja Food?
Hey, did you think it was a good idea to show up here?
Yeah. I mean, what were you thinking, bro? Did you say
think?
I love abuse? It would be typical of your typical Ashevilleite. Look, but seriously, y'all, I mean, If people want it, don't start no SH and there won't be no IT. Unlike the other people out there. Okay, let's compare compost live. Look, bro, I saw you doing your microscope work. If you're calling that biocomplete, I got news for you, Jack. You're missing the mark. And I think you might have called. Did you miss all those anaerobic organisms that were in there too? And this guy was sitting here telling folks at this thing that he's okay, son, I'll just tell you. I'll just recount what George said. So he's capturing all this water. It's going in the so-called ponds and swales, but he can't drink it because it's anaerobic. Is that a problem?
That's a freaking problem, dude. No.
Does it sound? I was going to blast him right there on the stage and say, dude, I don't know where you got your permaculture design certificate, but if you're producing anaerobic water in a system like that, your system ain't as good as you say it is. And they got this idiot on the stage. This is why you don't want to go to organic grower school, folks, because seriously, they get morons like this guy and a number of other wokies out there who climate change. Yeah, that's all you believe. And can't hear another thing out there. They talk a big game, but they don't know the first thing about how much of your own food do you produce, George? Huh?
Or how about this? Like, dude, if you have biocomplete compost, it should be evident with just a screenshot of your compost underneath the microscope. I should be able to see humic and fulvic acids within your compost. It should not be just clear water on there like you're showing. It should have a brownish, tannish tint to it. Like, let's compare our work, dude. I don't think you can operate this thing quickly or like accurately.
Compare our work.
And honestly, you don't want to compare it to like mom and dad's. Like, unbiased opinion, they have the best compost I've ever seen. It was better than Dr. Elaine Ingham's when it showed up to the house. Like, nobody I have experienced, nobody I've even heard of makes better compost than what mom and dad do.
Yeah, even Carl Hammer stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's great up in Vermont, but down here, it ain't the same thing. So, bro, I mean, you need to go back to school. I can't even believe this clown's out there teaching classes. So, look, George, we're offering an open debate. Open debate. You and William, my son is going to whoop you like you stole something. And
beat the cuck out of you.
Yeah, bro. I mean, how is it? I mean, come on, George, you're about my age. You got to be in your 50s, I would think. And you're going to let this 30-year-old take you to you're going to pass up this opportunity? Well, folks, these are the kind of cucks they bring out here to this organic grower school that don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. And this is how you fight back. So, and then plus, because these people have no sense of humor, George, you really messed up in a big way when you sit here and you pick a fight with a couple of comedians, because not only, first of all, from an intelligence basis, it's like fighting with a one-armed man, but also in terms of comedy, bro, that's the thing with these lunatics on the left. They have no gift of comedy, so they never get it. They're never gonna get it, and they'll never win that third argument. That's why they want to shut people down by screaming and yelling. And you might have been, I think you're probably going to be the biggest regret organic grower school ever had of somebody they brought on board, because now, you know what? Where I was just kind of ambivalent about it before, I'm going to take my time on you. I'm going to take my time on them. Next time they have another, I'm going to go down the list of woke speakers they bring in, and I'm going to do podcast after podcast after podcast explaining how people ought to avoid shows like this, where they bring on wokies like you and all the other cast of characters they got over there. If I stood up there and said I was trans, you would have never heard anything. But because I said, hey, look up, they're spraying the freaking sky. This is openly declassified stuff. Now all of a sudden they come out with this. And son, did they delete the post or just the comments?
They disabled comments on the post.
Well, son, why don't you put that email out there again, and maybe some of these folks out there want to write to them and ask them, you know, why don't they allow free speech? Can you pull that one up again? And maybe there's some interested parties out there that want to write to them. And
and what's interesting though is that in the direct messages between me and Fat Ninja, is I feel bad even including the ninja part. The email, the DMs between me and Fat Boy over there, he declined the debate once he found out I was your son. At that point, he said, "I'm done with it. I don't want anything to do with it." But yeah, now he's saying, now that we're in a public setting, now he's like, "Yeah, let's do the debate." But the email that everybody can reach out to is outreach@organicgrowerschool.org. Outreach@organicgrowerschool.org. Apparently, they invite open dialogue and open discussion only if you agree with what they said.
Yeah, only if you agree with what they said. So, folks, this is how I'm going to fight back, where everybody else is basically like Joel Salatin. I love Joel. Don't get me wrong. Joel's a friend of mine. And, even wrote the foreword to my book. I mean, he's a mentor, a friend, the whole 9 yards. Got nothing but great things, but he handled it all wrong. If he would have came out swinging like Andy Frisella did, as I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
and folks, you think some of these others came out swinging, you ain't seen nothing yet. Organic Grower School is going to regret the day they ever pulled some junk like this. So either they're going to straighten up and fly right, they're going to offer an apology, which I'm not expecting, or I'm going to do everything I can to have an open boycott of these people, because you're not learning anything there anyway. You might have a couple of people that teach a class that's worthwhile, but for the most part, of all the conferences I get invited to speak to, this is why I didn't do it the year before last, because it's a joke. It's a joke. When they bring in a keynote speaker telling all the white people in there that they need to be giving their land up to all the indigenous people and black people, and they're in there shaking their heads. Do you really want to be at a place like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you probably put the nail in your own coffin. So yeah. One last time, we're going to put out. He says, "Let's debate." Okay. So Ninja, Mr. Ninja, George, whatever your name is,
I'll bring the baby powder.
You gonna bring some baby powder? I'll bring some Huggies. Yep, I'll bring some Huggies, and I'll bring some Infamil baby formula for you, the whole 9 yards, man.
Some Hickory Ridge soap.
Yeah, some Hickory Ridge soap. We're gonna turn that simp into a pimp.
So hold on. What is it exactly you're wanting to debate? Whether or not there's geoengineering? Is that what you want to debate? Or are you just wanting to just generally argue and discuss nonsense? Like, let's figure out what the debate is. Are you wanting to debate whether or not geoengineering exists? What caused Hurricane Helene? What is it you're wanting to debate? Are you wanting to debate 100-year rain events?
Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah, he's saying, well, it happened all these years ago. Look, bro, there was things that unfolded right now. Look, I have zero respect for OGS. I have zero respect for this guy. And this is how we are going to defeat these lunatics, these absolute certifiable lunatics, y'all, is calling them out. And you want to go out there and put protest. I mean, I saw an idiot today go up and spit on a Tesla. I mean, and worse yet, these are people that almost align with you because they bought the Tesla in the first place. And I'm like, are you so stupid you can't see how you're being played here? You're spitting on the car of a person that almost politically aligns with you. And you people are falling right for it. Okay, so knock yourselves out if that's what you want to do. But yeah. We're not going to take it standing down, folks. So I'm not going to beat this horse anymore. George, if you want to, I guess you knows how to get a hold of you on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll see if it actually happens. If y'all see the video come out, you know what happened. If you don't, then we backed out. Somebody
says real estate mindset. Dude is intoxicated. Yeah, dude, you're calling me right thing. You don't know anything about me, bro. You don't. I know more about you than you know about me. If you haven't noticed, nobody's been more critical of Trump than me. Nobody was
with
more
reason
of Biden than me. Okay, I'm a libertarian. If you haven't noticed, and apparently you haven't. So he says, "Dude can't spell." Well, give him a break, man. He's on a hooked on phonics or something out there. So look, I mean,
as high as a kite.
I think we beat up on this dude enough. George, really, man, we had a little bit of fun with you tonight. I can't even believe you had the cojones to come in here in this chat, knowing full well we were going to cook, fry, and bake you. And I'll give you credit for doing that, but that's virtual. Let's do something in person. And if you think I was intimidating, wait till you meet my son. So, yeah, I look forward to an in-person debate. We can have it in public, man. We can really make George. I'll tell you what. Let's take all this money. Let's raise a bunch of money for an in-person debate between you and my son, and we'll donate it. I was going to say to the charity of your choice, but no, I don't believe we can send this to the LGBTQ or whatever, because I'm sure that's who you support. So, yeah, we'll just go ahead and do this open debate, and then maybe we could agree on where this money ought to get sent. So, son, anything else you'd like to add?
Hey, don't be a simp. Become a pimp. Hickory Ridge soap. Man, I'm shocked every day. I have a friend that I talk to pretty frequently, and every single day I'm like, what is happening in this world? Every day it gets weirder and weirder, and man.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah, people, hey, we got to shut this down. Hey, y'all, don't be trying to dox him or anything like that. Don't be trying to find his property or anything like that. Just leave it. Like, it doesn't need to escalate. We can do a verbal debate. Let's just leave it at that.
Or we can meet somewhere in public. We'll have a officer pat him down. Make sure no snipers are in the distance or anything like that. But I mean, seriously, if he wants to have a debate, we'll definitely do that. It could be him and me, him and you. I would prefer that you would bestow this butt whipping on him, son, rather than me.
That's fine.
And then we can get a third party to come in there and actually, be a moderator or whatever else. We could actually raise. Okay, if you're serious about doing a debate, which he isn't, watch. He's acting tough right now, but I guarantee he will not agree to a debate. But if he were, I would have a greater degree of respect for him. But you will absolutely mop the floor with him because he's debating on the basis of emotions and you're debating on the basis of fact. And
right.
Yeah. Amy,
Ken said he'll moderate.
I will moderate. Okay, so we got a moderator in the house.
There we go.
So all we got to do is agree on the topic. So George, if you want to raise some money and we'll give it to Relief in Western North Carolina, obviously we'll pay our moderator. How about that? We'll give our moderator, because clearly they'd have to go out of their way to do some of this. So we get half the funds to the moderator, the other half to a worthy cause that benefits neither of us. So if you're down for that, it looks like we got a moderator in the house, and Ken and Amy live down
Caleb
the road.
House. We'll donate it to Caleb House.
Okay, yeah, we could donate the rest of it to Caleb House. So, if you want to do something really worthwhile, there's your opportunity. All right, I want to thank everybody in the chat. Son, wow, this has been a wild one, man. This is not the way I expected. I know this guy like watches everything we do, and I had no idea that he was talking all this smack. I might have elevated that pimp hand on him had I known, but I didn't know this dude was so troubled. So for those of
you wondering, Caleb House is an organization that saves children from child trafficking and stuff like that, and provides them with permanent homes. Bear over at Bear Independent, he's the one that runs it. But yeah, check out Caleb House with a K. Caleb House with a K.
Well, he says when and where. Okay, I guess he'll reach out to you on Instagram, or you could do it. I'll let you
reach out to me.
That out. We'll reach out to our moderator, and we'll pay the moderator, and the rest of it can go to Caleb House, and we will raise a lot of money, and we'll broadcast it live right here on YouTube, and this ought to be really good. So I guess, William, we'd have to, okay, really what he had a problem with is what happened in Western North Carolina. So you can debate your side, he can debate his, we could do it Lincoln Douglas style, it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, all parties win. Well, except clearly for the one that gets his butt handed to him. So there we have it. So I want to thank everybody in the chat, and I want to thank you for the lively conversation. Until next time, y'all stay alert.
Stay alive.
Learn a new thing, channel and nature, let the knowledge ring. Rules that run deep, wisdom from soul, learn across the stream. Let the ideas unfold. I'm grooving with the truth. Feeling nature's food. end. From the smallest sprout to harmony begin. In the cycle of life, where the magic's alive.